So we can break apart to hit me if I seem a little unimpressed with this. An antisocial pessimist, but usually I don't mess with this, and I know you.
Hello friends, welcome back to Data Preparation Challenge video in Power BI. And this is the first challenge where we're gonna see how we can convert our columns into a proper datetime format. So let's see. So you can see here we will have some Excel file here. You can also download this file from the description below. So you can see here we have unit and dispatch date and dispatch time, and this column. If we didn't need this column, we will delete this column after. And you can see here we will have this dispatch date, and we need to convert this into a proper date format, and this dispatch time into a proper time format. So let's see how we can do this in Power BI. Of course, we can do this in Excel also. So let's try to use Power BI and let's try to convert this into a proper datetime formats. So what I'll do, I'll go to this Power BI and I'll import my data. So I'll click on open. I'll select my sheet here and I'll click on transform data. Whenever we will have some data preparation or data analytics task, we need to make sure to use Power Query Editor. So this is the task of Power Query Editor. What I'll do, I'll click on refresh. Now what I'll do, I'll simply click on this column and I'll just delete this. Now you can see here this dispatch date, this got formatted in a proper date format. Now we need to convert this into this dispatch time into a time format. So let's try to see how we can do this. So the first way, what I'll do, I'll click on left click on this 1 2 3, and you can see here we will have this time format. I'll click on time. So you can see we got some errors here, so we can't do this like this. So I'll go to the previous step. Now let's see, let's convert this into a text. So what I'll do, I'll convert this into first a text here. Then let's try to convert this into a time format. So what I'll do, I'll click on this again, left click on this, and I'll click on time. Before that, what I'll do, I'll click on binary. So, sorry, using global. Sorry, I'll go to this using local, and here from here I'll select my time and I'll click on OK. Now you can see here we will have some errors also, and for some rows it is formatted in a time format, so this is fine. So why we got some errors here, let's see. So I'll go to the previous step here. You can see here we will have this 0949, but the 0 is not included here because the Power BI is by default it neglect the 0 here, and for this also. So that's why we got some errors here for this errors for these rows. Now what I'll do, I'll just delete this type and let's try to convert this into a time again. And you can see this is the both are the same steps. I'll just change this. Now what I'll do, I'll add a 0 at the starting of this 949. So you can see here in the data set, you can see it is 0949. That means 9 hour 49 minutes, 9 o'clock 49 minutes, like that. So I'll go here, Power Editor. Now what I'll do, I'll add a new column here. So I'll go to this add column and I'll create a custom column. And here I'll say uh, starting starting with zero, starting with zero. And here make sure that this column that should be a text column. So what I'll do, I'll again go to this and I'll say this is my starting zero. I'll say starting just zero, starting zero, and here I'll say text dot, and here I'll be using some mcode functions here. So we have mcode functions called text dot pad start and pad end. So pad start, pad end. So pad end, what it does, it will add some let's say I want to add a zeros here. It will add the zeros at the end of the text. If I want to add zeros at the starting, I'll be using pad dot text dot pad start. So I'll click on tab, and from here I'll be selecting. So you can see the definition is, so it returns a text of a specified length by adding by padding the start of the given text. So here let's select the text. So I'll be selecting my dispatch time here, and the count. So we have 4 digit count. I'll say 4 digit, and for the character I'll add 0. Now I'll close this. Now you can see no syntax errors. Let's click on OK. Now you can see the 0 got added here. Now what I'll do, I'll make a copy of this. Let's click on duplicate column here, and here I'll say this is my time. Just say time. Now what I'll do, I'll convert this into a proper time. Now let's left click on this and let's go to this time. You can see now this is formatted in a proper time format. Now what I'll do, I'll make this dispatch date and dispatch time both are in a one column, and I'll say this is my date and time column. Now let's try to do this. Now here what I'll do, I'll select my this dispatch time, and this column and this column I need to join this. So I'll go to this column, sorry, I'll go to this custom column here, and here I'll say this is my date time try, and here I'll say dispatch date, this dispatch date and percent and space, then again and percent, and here I'll say my my dispatch time this. I'll click on OK. I can see we got some errors here because this dispatch time, this is in a proper text format, but this dispatch date in a, this is in a date format. So we need to convert this into a text format. So what I'll do, I'll remove this and I'll change this into a text format. So this is in a text format. Now let's try again. So this is my date time error. So these are the trial and error approaches. So we need to try unless and until we get some outputs. So here this is my dispatch date and percent and space, then again and percent, then my dispatch time. Click on OK. I can see. So this is in a text format here. Now let's try to convert this into a date and time. I can see still we got some errors here. So why so? Because we will using this dispatch time column. So these are starting. These are not starting with the 0. So what I'll do, I'll remove this. Now what I'll do, I'll what I'll do, I'll copy. I'll combine this dispatch date and with this starting with 0. Now let's remove this column, and again I'll go to this column from example, and here again I'll say date and time. Again I'll try date and time try, and again I'll say dispatch date and the space, then again and percent, then here I'll select my starting with zeros. Now let's click on OK. Now let's try to convert this into date time. I can see we still got some errors here. Why? Because you can see here this dispatch date and this dispatch time, this sorry, this starting with zeros, this column. So here this Power BI is not identifying this as a time format. So because you can see here these hours and minutes got not got separated here, so we need to separate this. So what I'll do, I'll add a colon in between this 11 o'clock 08 minutes, so that means 11 o'clock 8 minutes, and for this also. Now let's try to do this. What I'll do, I'll remove this step, and here let's go to this add column again, and I'll go to this column from example, and here what I'll do, I'll select my, let's say, this starting with 0, only this column, and here I'll say this is my proper time, or just say right time, proper time, proper time, and here what I'll do, I'll say 11 o'clock colon 08, then this is 15 04. You can see Power BI is smart enough to identify this as a time format, date and time format. Sorry. So I'll click on OK. I can see we got some proper time format. Now let's try to combine these with the dispatch date. So let's delete this first. This column. Now what I'll do, I'll again go to this column from example, and here I'll say this is my final date time, and here I'll select my dispatch date and percent. Sorry, and percent space, then and percent, then my proper time. I'll click on. Now let's try to convert this into a datetime format. Now you can see now this is formatted in a proper date and time format. So let's try to delete this column. So let's let's delete this. So let's try to convert this into a time format. Now what I'll do, I'll delete this also starting with zeros, and this dispatch time also, and I'll say this is my dispatch time. Dispatch time. Yeah. Now I'll go to this form and I'll click on close and apply. Now let's visualize our data. So we need to wait some. Now let's select a table here. Now let's add our units and the final dispatch time on it. You can see. Now let's visualize our data. Let's increase values to 20. Yeah. Let's increase the column headers. So let's say 20 again. Let's make it bold. I can see. So we got some units here and years and quarters and month and day. This is how we can format our date and time format conversion in Power BI. So this is the solution for date and time conversion in Power BI. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed in this video. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching.